Yes, welcome to G Involve Show, where we learn, inspire, and discover. With me, your host, Kathleen Mark. And if you haven't subscribed, please tell a friend that we are back. It's a month of March, a month of love, a month of Women's Day. So we are today celebrating Women's Day from diaspora, Uganda, and every district at large. And today we are going to be discussing, understanding who we are. Who are we actually? If you know who you are, come closer and then we discuss. But today I am not alone at UG Involved Show. I have a guest and she is my friend. She's my mentor. I've seen this woman for a very long time and she's here with me. So welcome, Madam Rebecca.
Thank you, Clean Mark. Thank you for having me here. My name is welcome. Rebecca, and that's all about me.
Hey, yeah, she's a mother.
I'm a mother of 5 children. And what else? I'm a business coach, and yeah, I met a young women into doing businesses mainly. So as long as a woman is empowered, for me, that's all that matters.
Wow. So it's being that it's a Women's Day, it is the reason why we're here, and we are going to share a lot of bits. Yes, actually. But have you ever recognized to know when the Women's Day happens and you be like, yes, this is my day? What exactly? Can you share with us of the things you usually do on the Women's Day?
On Women's Day, from past experiences, for me, Women's Day is about celebrating small wins.
Yeah.
I don't have to focus on, I've learned recently that I don't have to focus on the big wins. As long as a woman is getting out of that pit and has started something that is elevating them, and they are striving to make sure that they become a better person every day, regardless of where they are. For me, it's a yes. As long as a woman is starting out something, working on improving her marriage, her business, her ministry, whatever it is they set their hands on to do, for me that is top notch. And I'll always celebrate them at whatever level of their life there is. I've had instances where I've walked miles to meet women because they're doing something, or to speak to some woman. As long as a woman is out there and they're going through something, I'll always move until I find them.
Wow. So women empowerment. With women, we must be empowered. We must have something to do. Because when you're talking about that, at least someone who has achieved something. When sometimes we share about these things, people think that you have to have that bigger restaurant that is everyone is known, that we have to have, but there are those small things that as women we can start with. Like for example, I recently was looking at a lady who she does fruits. She sells fruits. Every morning she brings in her office fruits. She's making money. And that woman who cannot really remain in her bed and wake up every morning to bring something to someone, then they give her money, that is something that she's doing great. So if every woman could look at that small thing, but at least you have been empowered to do something.
And you know, empowerment, for me, empowerment goes just beyond the working. It goes beyond just that a woman having money. It's not just about the money. As long as a woman knows what they want to do, setting out goals that are measurable, and they're like, this is what I want to become, this is what I want to be, this is what I want to focus on. I have a friend of mine that is she's called Vani. She's a director for a company called Tulips. So she calls herself Tulipers. When Vanessa finished university, she was like, I don't want to work for anyone. And she set out a company. She has never told me this, but her father mentioned it to me that she wants to be empowered and to do something for herself. Right now, Vani is one of those flourishing young girls that I know from my church. And she may not be in my church right now, but she has been part of my church, but she's flourishing. So as long as a woman has a vision of where they want to be, what they want to do, trust me, they can achieve anything. They can achieve everything. They can go anywhere they have always wanted to ever be. And there are a lot of parents out there that are set out and open to support their girls. So it's beyond just the empowerment of money. It's beyond setting measurable things and starting on them slowly by slowly. Those small wins count. as long as someone is working on achieving a certain win for me, that is I embrace that woman. I'll always celebrate them. I'll always look out for them. I always mentor them, and I always support them in one way or another.
So as a woman, do we really know who we are? Do we really understand that we are women? And if we are, what exactly have we done to make sure that we fit in our gap as women?
I'm not sure whether a lot of women understand who they are, but it starts now.
It starts now, yeah.
It starts now. We need to speak out to as many women as possible. I belong to a group of my church girls. We call ourselves the worship force go-getters. And one of my daily things is to remind them that you can start now. Start small, but start now. Know who you are. I've seen a lot of women struggling in their marriages. And I'm like, okay, if I begin with me and I work on myself, I try to do, I don't know whether people will get this wrong, but I've had, I read a book. Was it a book or it was a statement by Hilda Bahati, and she was like, you reach a certain time in your life and you've got to be deliberately selfish with yourself. In other words, you start focusing on yourself, start looking good, start mentoring yourself, and start even appreciating yourself. It begins with self. As long as you get to know what you want and you're like, let me work towards achieving this. Like I said in the very beginning, that once you set out certain objectives, they must be impactful, they must be measurable, there must be consistency, and all these things will not really matter as long as there's execution. You begin working on the execution of certain small things on your life to get yourself better. And when a woman reaches that level, trust me, they get to know that they've started getting there.
Wow.
I don't know whether that makes sense. But
Yeah,
as long as you start executing and working on yourself, you're beginning to get there. I wake up on a daily basis, clean mark, and I set targets for how much money I want to achieve in a week, or I want to make in a week. And you know me, I'll sell anything. I do e-commerce. I'll sell things here and there until I get that target. As long as, number one, the objective with my life is that I sell things that are impactful, that are going to impact people's health. That is me, Rebecca. That is what God has probably called me out to do. So as a marketeer, I know that I'm not just doing marketing, but I'm focusing on impactful things that will impact other people's lives. And my focus is usually on women, because it's the woman that goes through the hardest time. She's going through stress at work. She's going through the very, very hard things.
Yeah, you have reminded me of someone who say that if you want to be rich, you have to be you have to have a solution to the world. Like, you have to be a solver. You have to have something that you do must be a solution to the people.
That's what an entrepreneur does.
Yeah. So that is very good, and I love that. I'm also learning, actually, because I've said that to learn that women, we have to have a vision. Yes, you must go where, you must know where you're heading. You must understand every time you wake up in the morning, you must be knowing that, at least, as she has said, that we have to be knowing where we are going. Actually, I'm learning that. I'm going to start that to do it. So thank you so much.
There are things that I look at my children and I'm like, I want to do this for my children. So I'll focus and I'll make sure I attain those things by working hard as a woman. In as much as I'm married, I've been married for 10 years, and there are things that I'll never ask for from my husband. As long as I've got the capacity or the ability to wake up on a daily basis, by the grace of God, I'll go out and achieve those things for my children.
So there is a woman will be like, but I have been married, I have been doing this, it has not. So can I again now refocus and have a vision? Is it too late for me to refocus if I'm 40, if I'm 35?
You've heard of the saying that a man's life begins at 40? And I'll tell you right now that a woman's life begins anytime. I realized 2 years back, I realized that I had to restart afresh. You know, you get in a time in life and you're in that redundant life and everything looks stuck. So you can begin from wherever you are, whether it's at 45, whether it's at 47, whether it's at 65. Life is still beautiful. Life is still beautiful. At any age you can begin. you can start. You can begin a business at 70. You can begin, you've seen me speaking to elderly people.
Yeah,
you can begin a business at 45. It's still okay to get married at 54. It's still okay to start out life even at 65 as a woman. It's okay. It's okay to sit down, get through the time of redundancy and being dull, and then you work on yourself and you start afresh. Haven't you seen women at 45 and they are flourishing?
Yeah, we have seen there are very many.
And they've restarted from scratch. And they're like, this is what I want to be. And they start redressing a lot of things. And they start getting away with the mess, from the mess. And they're like, this is what I want to do. This is what I want to achieve. This is where I want to be. This is where I want to go. And if you ask me another question, I'll tell you that forget the past years, whatever it is. Forget. Start now.
Okay.
If you're 37, start from your 37th year and begin life afresh. It's okay.
So we look at Women's Day as a new beginning for every woman.
Yes.
Okay, so thank you so much for that sharing. So we would want to know, Mrs. Rebecca, who is your role model, and is having a role model important to our lives? Or
a role model, a role model is someone that is not probably your peer. Someone could be older than you, someone that you look up to, someone that does things that inspire you, someone that does things and you're like, I think I need to be like this woman. I need to get here. I know you've probably seen certain women in your life and you're like, njagala kubeera ng'omukazi oyo.
yeah, we have many.
Not 100%, but probably I want to be like, if I can get to 40% of that person. And surprisingly, it's also okay to have a role model that is not probably female. My role model is a man.
Wow.
I may not mention him here, but he's a man.
Wow.
This guy made 85% of what I am today. He spoke life into my life. And this man often told me, when he was leaving the country, he told me this statement. He's like, I've blessed you. Nkutade. A role model must get to that level that they can even bless you and they're like, Rebecca, start flying. They must get there. Be it a man, whether it's a woman, but for me, my role model is a man. It's surprising, but this guy has pushed me to where I am. This guy has set out opportunities for me. If your role model is not doing that for you, setting out things, nakulekera nakutera omukisa. If you're looking up to a person, they should be able to have influence on your life.
Yeah.
They should be able to touch your life. They should be able to influence a lot of things in your life, but for positive things. And that role model must be able to build at least 75% of you. Right now, I do the things that I do. I've been mentored in every way by this guy. And he has made 85% of me. In that, even when he gets a job and he's like, I'm not going to do it, he'll be like, please, so and so, you want me to do this, but Rebecca can do exactly what I've been doing. And I've been blessed in very many ways. Been blessed in very many ways. That guy was the best man to my husband, but we've been blessed in very many ways, at least from my side.
Yeah, so from hearing your statement, I think it's high time that as women we need to have a role model, someone that you look to and be like, yes, I would want. Is it okay for me to be beyond my role model, like to make things better?
It's purely fine. You see, life has no limitations. You may be looking up to someone, but let me tell you something about this guy. This guy, we do almost similar work, but there are things that he reaches that is like, Rebecca, sobola, and he has accepted. He knows.
He has realized your capability, and then
he knows what I do best. He knows what I can. He knows my strengths. Rebecca, or I'll do that, or let's hire someone, let's do something. But your role model, you can be far better than your role model. Like I told you, you don't have to copy 100%, but copy out that thing that is pushing you to the next level, that is making you a better person.
Wow. So people who are watching, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe now to UG Involved Show, and you can learn more.
Click on the
bell that is down, please. Join us as we always put more videos and the learning. So thank you so much for that. So in which way should the women level their standards. People every time they are complaining, they'll be like, women, they don't know what they want. People always have much things they always talk about women. So what exactly as women, what should we do to level our standards? People will be seeing, because remember there is what they call feminism. When people come out and be like, that woman, she's like a man, but you mean that women can't we level our standard to the extent beyond men?
For me, the point of discussion shouldn't be about whether we should level up to the level of a man or beyond what a man can do. By leveling up from my side as Rebecca. I sat down last night and I was thinking about it, and I was like, okay, if I need to level up, number one, the first thing I will begin with, and that I've begun with, that I've worked on, that has worked for me, I leveled up in my spirit realm.
Wow.
My husband knows I pray for 3 hours each day on a daily basis. And until I yearned to get to that level, and I leveled up in my spirit realm, a lot of things began changing from that time. Number 2, leveling up even in the way you dress and look is very key. I have a friend of mine, she's called Lisha. She was some guy was bringing clothes to him, and in January, and she was like, 2024 wow. She leveled up in her way of dressing and presentation and the way she looks before people and before men and before even the people she preaches to. And I was like, so when she said that statement, I was like, okay. So you go beyond the physical, you go beyond the spirit, even your looks. You know that people can judge you based on what you're dressing. True. Like we can judge a man starting from the shoe. Your shoe determines, for example, for a man, you can judge a man by the way they speak. So even when it comes to the way you speak, you must level up as a woman, as a girl, as a single mother. You level up with the way, with the discussions you put out of your mouth, with the things, even the people that you engage with. That because you've leveled up to that realm. That because you've leveled up to that realm. Haven't you had conversations in church and you're like, you see people and you're like, not because but because you want to set a certain standard in your life. You're like, the people that look at and I'm like, those are supposed to stay at church. That's also leveling up. Those are not supposed to come home. That's leveling up. Those are supposed to stay with me and minister with me in worship team. That's leveling up. Because probably you level up based on, like I've told you, your spirit realm will dictate a lot of things that move around you. Will dictate a lot of things that hover around you. Will dictate a lot of things in the way you speak, in the way you dress, in the way you move, with the people you dine with. It will say a lot of sense. You've
reminded me of something. I have a circle of girls who usually go and pray, but one of our friends told us that I am no longer going to WhatsApp, to TikTok, because she doesn't feel comfortable to be. She wants just to go deep in Christ and seek God. So I think that's also another level, that someone gets another level. Like for her, things of the world.
Those are men and women that have died in Christ. I've my best friend. When you're with my best friend stays in Manchester, but when you're with that girl, she died.
Christ.
She died. So if God has called you, God has called all of us to die in Christ. But it doesn't mean that but there are things that I used to think that I'm the only person Katonda Goyagana Twitter X. Until I met several people, they're like, Mukama yangana TikTok.
Actually,
that's leveling up. That's knowing. Don't you find people on TikTok? But they're on TikTok since morning. That's not my life. But actually, that's not who I want to be. Even in the afterlife, I don't want to be part of that. I don't want to be known for certain things. I want to leave a legacy where people will be reminded, where actually, you see the way you read the Bible, I want my children to look down at me. They're like, Katonda wa jjajja waffe Rebecca.
Wow.
Gwe tuyita n'olunaku lwa leero. That's leveling up. And I'm setting a foundation for my children.
Wow. I just feel like to hear you the whole day, but of course, we cannot move on for this. But remember, if you haven't, please subscribe. This is UG Involved Show. Subscribe now. We have more talks that are going to be coming on. We have more celebrations we're going to celebrate. But remember, if you're a woman and you haven't leveled your standard, this is the high time that you also think of how can I level my standard? How can I? It's not like comparing as you're a man and a woman. No, we are standing as women. We are leveling our standard, and let everyone be like, and yeah, that's a woman. She's there and she has made it, and she is improving. So, Madam Rebecca, as we're wrapping up for this program, what would you want to tell a woman who's there? Probably she didn't understand this is today's Women's Day. Oh, she knew, but she's just confused to be like, I know I'm a woman, but so what? How would you really, as we are finishing, as we are wrapping up this, what would you leave to that woman?
Build for resilience. Be a grittier person. By grit, have stamina. When you focus on something, push it to the very end. Don't start and live in the middle. There'll be a lot of things that come here and there, but push to the very end. Be the best of you. Provide the very best. If you're employed by them, provide the very best. The very, very, very best. I am speaking from experience. I know what working hard can reward. And build for resilience. Let your marriage be built on resilience. By resilience, we mean adopting to new things. Technology, trends. Nga tokyambala bire ebyedda ngoyambala ebiriko kubanga ebitambula
ate nenjogera by the way when you're on trend, you're even speaking also it is chiriko.
Get to know what is moving. That adaptability to new cultures, new levels, new things is very key for a progressing woman, for a progressing mother, for a progressing girlfriend. I used to see a lot of people tell me saunas are stan, until I took part of my worship team girls to sauna to have a steam bath and do it, and they're like, okay, I think this is refreshing. Try out new stuff as long as your pockets allow you to. If they don't allow you to, please try to live below your means, even when you have money.
And then loving ourselves, by that, I think also
love yourself. Focus on yourself. Focus on your skin. Make sure your skin is glowing. Make sure you put on bana ya bachala. Go kulabiko blonde.
I know.
Never should I find you without lipstick.
Hey.
Your skin should be glowing 24/7. Whether they want it or not, you should glow for Christ and for men to see and for the world to see, because what you're portraying is actually who you really are.
Yes, so we cannot go far beyond this. UG Involved Show. Of course, we learn, we inspire. But remember, there's a saying which says that the most important thing one woman could do for another is in life is to always illuminate and expand. Just expand and illuminate and expand your responsibilities. That is the only thing that a woman would want to do. And at the end, you will harvest the fruits that you would want to have. Miss Rebecca, as we are wrapping up the show, please, you can send the regards to your bestie.
Happy Women's Day to the women that have been of an influence in my life. My mother-in-love. Go meet my mother-in-law. She's called my mother-in-love. We call them mothers-in-love. My best friends. To the women that have supported me. The women that have supported me. To the women that have been in my life. To the women that have influenced me. There are a lot of women. And then to my husband. And to my mother as well.
Yeah, so as we cannot go beyond this, also I want to send to the best of those that have inspired me in this journey that I'm in, and where I came from and to where I am right now. Of course, I can't forget my mentor and my role model. Yes, I love you people so much. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for always visiting UG Involved Show. Of course, we inspire and discover, as we are learning everything through the life. Thank you. We love you so much. Happy Women's Day.